Hi there and welcome back to the Headbangers Ball, where it's time to head off to Germany for another On the Road report. Tonight we're joining Accept at the opening night of their European tour, which kicked off last Sunday at the Grosse Freiheit. For Vince, but within weeks of being fired from the crew, he was collaborating with Jack Blades and Tommy Shaw of Damn Yankees and co-writing the tune You're Invited But Your Friend Can't Come. The track quickly thrust up the Billboard charts, with the video becoming a mainstay on MTV in America. Now, just over a year since his departure from the crew, Vince has released his debut solo album, Exposed. He co-wrote 10 of the 11 tracks, and the album was recorded with a host of serious rock and roll talent. Vince's band features ex-Billy Idol guitarist Steve Stevens, along with former Enuff Z Nuff drummer Vicky Fox. Bass duties are handled by Robbie Crane, and in the later stages of the game, Dave Marshall was added, giving the band an EC-style double guitar attack. See for yourself on the brand new single, Sister of Pain.
That's it, yeah, Wild Man, that's it.
If that's inspired you to attend, then check out this month's edition of Metal Hammer magazine for details of the club they're running to help you save for the... Guns N' Roses on our weekend, and before the kickoff of our Guns N' Roses rockumentary, here's a quick reminder of the band's European fan club address. You can write to Asylum Europe Limited, Marketing Department, 2 Gumping Road, Orpington, Kent. That is BR51RX. And right now we take a look at the career of Guns N' Roses from their formation in Los Angeles in the mid-80s right through to the 1990s. Hopefully a lot of your questions about the band will be answered in this MTV rockumentary.
In the spring of 1969, Billboard's album charts were overrun.
If we get these two guys and another bass player, we could have the best rockin' band. And it was for Flyers when we saw them. And we went to the show, and I was right.
Okie dokie, that was the Metal Collection, rounding off another edition of Headbangers Ball. If you'd like to take part in either the Metal Collection or the Triple Thrash Treat, then please send your suggestions in to the following address. It's MTV's Headbangers Ball, PO Box 1384, London, NW1, OHW, England.
Fire is cool. Yeah.
Of all time. Anthrax, new album, fucking amazing. Suicidal, always great, man. We got some different bands like Monster Magnet, Mindfuck, Fear Factory. The whole thing is just like 70,000 people. They're only expecting 30.
That says it all. All right then.
Let you see the underground is now coming above ground.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks to people like you, Evan. All right then, well, we're signing off from the Dynamo Festival in Holland. We'll be back here next week with all the festivities from the second day, headlined by Annihilator, Trouble and Merciful Fate. So join us next week. We'll say goodbye for now. So we'll be talking to him a little bit later on, but of course there is an awful lot to talk to you guys about. And I guess the good place to start is what happened with Coburn Farr. Why did he leave the band?
Well, in a nutshell, he left the band due to some problems that I was having for the last 10 years of my life. I think alcohol was the biggest problem we've had in this lineup changes over the years and this and that. I've been sober for about a year and a half.
Congratulations. Thank
you very much. Feels great. And Coburn isn't, so he's not in the group right now. And it was very hard to get along with people. I was hard to get along with when I was drinking, and so were the previous members of the group that were out for that reason. But now we just got so much energy. I feel like I'm about 20 years old again.
You look years younger. Now actually Coburn co-wrote a lot of the album with you, didn't he? So how did that work, actually getting another person in to sing things that he's written?
It was okay. I mean, Coburn contributed some lyrics for about 3 or 4 songs, so it wasn't a major contribution, but I was thinking maybe I'll, replace the songs and start fresh with Aaron, new singer and all that, but the songs to Set the World on Fire and a couple other strong songs that we felt, so I said, well, why...
Before joining Annihilator?
I'm totally new to this, actually. This is the first time I'll be playing in front of mega people.
So you're not nervous, are you?
I'm not nervous at all.
I am.
Totally.
You played a couple of warm-up shows in the UK a few days ago. Did that go well?
It went great. Kids, they all knew the words to all the new album, and it was just unbelievable.
It's funny. I see a lot of Aaron and myself, or a lot of me and Aaron, because when I first came over here to play in Europe and UK and that, I
love it. Yeah, it's great, man.
And it was inspired during the Gulf War.
Yeah, it's not really, well, it touches on the Gulf War. It was inspired just on a tour bus, looking over the Gulf War footage on CNN, but it's really about dictators.
To set the world on fire, and we'll be back in a moment with some live. Hello Dynamo, how are you doing? Okay, maybe some of you have heard of a program called Headbanger's Ball. Okay, well, a little while ago we ran a competition for somebody to win a fantastic trip to the Dynamo Festival to hang out with you guys for this lovely sunny weekend. And I'd like to introduce our competition winner to you. This is Rudi, all the way from Slovenia. Can we have a round of applause for Rudi? Thank you very much. And as a special prize, Rudi is going to introduce Annihilator on stage for you now. So stand by. Okay.
All right, Dynamo, all the way from Canada, Annihilator!
Thank you. That was Cinderella with a Gypsy Road, and no, this is not In Bed with Madonna, it's In Bed with Arcade. That's a new band formed by Fred Coury, ex-Cinderella, and Stephen Piercy. That was LA Guns with a beautiful A Ballad of Jane, and joining me on MTV's Monsters of Rock weekend, I've got Tracii Guns, formerly of LA Guns, but apparently he's left the band. We're going to find out all his news right now. Hi Tracii, welcome to MTV. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
What do you think of this Foundations Forum so far?
This is the first one I've ever been to, and I thought it was kind of like a pure business thing, you know? And there's like a lot of fans here and stuff like that, so it's taking longer to get from station to station to talk to people, but it's fun, man. A lot of loud music everywhere. I dig it.
Now we've been hearing all these rumours that you have left LA Guns. Could you set the record straight for us? What's going on? That was multi-platinum German rockers the Scorpions with Rock You Like a Hurricane, and we continue with more German rock and roll on MTV's Monsters of Rock weekend with a very exciting new band who are breaking out of Germany as I speak, and that is Scew Siskin, and I'm joined by Nina and Jim, and it's very nice to see you guys on MTV Europe at last.
Thanks, nice to see you.
Now the name, it's not actually a German name, is it? It's an English name. Tell us how you came about that.
It's Old English, and Scew means like weird and crazy and strange, and Siskin is sort of a bird, and the name stands for being weird and
like Alice in Chains, Soundgarden and Mother Love Bone. Continuing in that fine tradition are Nirvana, a fearsome trio who first sprang into the international spotlight 3 years ago with their debut album Bleach, which was released on the independent Sub Pop label. Now, newly signed to a major record company, the band have just put out their second LP.
Black Sabbath meets the Knack.
That was Enuff Z Nuff with a track taken from their 1989 self-titled debut album. Fans of the band will of course already know that the Chicago rockers recently released a new album titled Animals with Human Intelligence, although unfortunately no video is available from it as yet. Already hailed by Metal Hammer magazine as the album that shows the world exactly what Enuff Z Nuff are capable of, simple but bloody good rock and roll songs, Animals with Human Intelligence is the band's third album, following on from their 1989 debut and the 1991 follow-up, Strength. Production duties were handled by frontman Donny V and bassist Chip Enuff, along with Richie Zito. The band's lineup is completed by guitarist Derek Frigo and new drummer Ricky Parent, who replaces Vicky Fox following the latter's departure to join the Vince Neil Band. Enuff Z Nuff will be touring the UK as support to Poison next month. The dates kick off at the Ulster Hall in Belfast on the 14th of April, and hopefully by then we'll have the new video and a chance to meet up with the guys for an in-depth interview. Right now though, we have to take another short breather before some seriously heavy music in the form of, you know, the triple thrash treat. Stay tuned if you dare. Well, summer is on the way at last, and that means that many of us rockers can look forward to the big outdoor shows featuring the likes of Metallica, Def Leppard and Guns N' Roses. There's no news of Donnington Monsters of Rock as yet, and it would seem that Donnington would be hard-pressed to come up with a lineup to beat Metallica, Megadeth and Alice in Chains at the Milton Keynes Bowl 5th of June. We'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, in America, Daytona, Florida to be precise, summer arrives a little earlier as traditionally American students descend in their thousands to Daytona Beach for their spring break. To celebrate, our American colleagues organised a spring break concert featuring the likes of the Black Crowes, Stone Temple Pilots and Living Colour. Here's our exclusive report.
Now for a roundup of news from the metal world. Poison are strongly rumoured to have parted company with guitarist Richie Kotzen. There you go, that was the Metal Collection signalling the end of another edition of the Headbangers Ball. If you'd like to take part in either the Metal Collection or the Triple Thrash Treat, then please send your suggestions into the following address. It's MTV's Headbangers Ball, PO Box 1384, London NW1 8UH, England, and please make a note of that new postcode NW1 8UH. Now, next week's show will feature an in-depth interview with Steve Vai, along with the chance to win one of his Ibanez guitars. And speaking of Mr. Vai, he'll be co-hosting Rock Block tomorrow night at midnight with Pip Dan, so make sure you tune in for that. As for me, well, I'll see you next week. In the meantime, keep it heavy. Bye-bye for now.
By another edition of the heaviest show known to metalkind. Tonight we proudly present new videos from Gamma Ray and Morbid Angel, along with an exclusive live performance from Poison. On the interview front, we head off to the famous Marquee Club in London to hook up with Voivod on the final night of their European tour, as well as bringing you exciting news of a new live album from Dream Theatre and finding out who has won our fantastic No Peace Till Nottingham competition. So there'll be no peace for the next 2.5 hours because you're tuned to the show that's always more than metal. You know by now, Headbangers Ball.
Punk kid, get anything done?
Well, he worked very hard today, but he didn't quite finish. I'd like to have him back tomorrow.
Great.
There you go, that was Scorpions, who'll be releasing a new album on the 13th of September. It's titled Face the Heat, and it introduces new Scorpions bassist Ralph Reicherman, who replaces original member Francis Buchholz. With famed producer Bruce Fairbairn at the helm, Face the Heat has apparently been both a musical catharsis and rebirth for the Scorpions. In addition to addressing several social issues, the band confronts some of the personal and professional problems which have plagued them recently, including the painful and very public parting of the ways with Buchholz. We'll have a new video in the not-too-distant future, and you should also watch out for the Scorpions on an extensive European tour throughout September, October and November. But for now, we're going to turn the clock back to April of this year, the 23rd of April to be precise, when Poison played a triumphant, sold-out show at London's Hammersmith Apollo. I was there. The whole concert was filmed for a home video titled Poison Live Over Europe, which will be released in October. And courtesy of PMI, we have an exclusive excerpt for you tonight. Now for news of an exciting and innovative collaboration between MTV and Rock Team Publishing. On the 30th of July, a new magazine called Headbangers Ball will hit the streets in Germany. Whilst this publication should definitely not be viewed as the magazine of the programme, the two media definitely share some common goals and philosophies. High on our shared list of objectives is to bring you an informed and intelligent perspective of the metal world, encompassing coverage of all genres of rock music.
As per the programme, the magazine will also place an important emphasis on introducing both local and international new talent. Every month you'll also find some pages dedicated to the TV show, including transcripts of interviews and forthcoming programme highlights. The first issue features a history of the Headbangers Ball programme and my top 10 albums of all time. I chose Queensryche Operation Mindcrime at number 1 if you want to know. So make sure you watch out for the Headbangers Ball magazine. It's available in Germany as from the 30th of July. Right, after this first short break, the Ball heads out on the road with Canadian power metalers Voivod. So stay tuned if you want to reach the outer limits of metal. Well, I don't know about a Monsters of Rock weekend, but it's certainly been a marathon rock weekend as far as I'm concerned. And let me tell you that we are winding up our coverage now, but at 23:30 tonight we're going to have a very special edition of Headbangers Ball for you, recorded out on the road with Anthrax in San Francisco. So I hope you'll tune in there, 23:30 tonight, Headbangers Ball with Anthrax. Now, we have been bringing you the big names over the past weekend, and right now we're going to concentrate on some of the more up-and-coming younger bands. Now, we have Daytona Beach Rocks, a special program recorded a little earlier this summer featuring the likes of Soul Asylum, Stone Temple Pilots and the Black Crows. So here we go, Daytona Beach Rocks, and I'll see you a little bit later on for Headbangers Ball. Well, that was the debut video from Demolition 23, the band founded by Michael Monroe and also featuring Sammy Yaffa and Nasty Suicide, of course, all three guys formerly of Hanoi Rocks. Great to see them back together in fine form, even though they said they're nothing's all right. So we're still talking to The Cult. It's our New Year's special. Well done for staying up so late on New Year's Day, if you saw in the New Year last night. I've got Billy and Ian with me, joining me here in Milton Keynes, the centre of the universe. And we talked a little bit about the turmoils of the band in the past, and it seemed that, to me, that kind of ceremony was kind of a time of reckoning for you. Was there ever ever a thought that the band might split up at the time of that album?
I think there definitely things were very fragile in that period, but that ceremony was, we knew we'd evolved, I think. I mean, we basically started out in clubs, bars, and we've evolved to this pinnacle with selling millions of records and playing, selling out arenas around the world. Mm-hmm. And I think we'd achieved everything we could imagine we could ever achieve, certainly commercially. And I just think it was just really time to readdress everything. So it was kind of like a period where instead of like maybe moving forward, we moved sideways. But I think it was really important. We were exhausted. And I think a lot of the songs on Ceremony were really good songs. The production itself was, it wasn't what we dreamed for, but some of the songs, I really like, Earth Mother and Indian Woman and Wonderland, the songs that I'll always like. But it was very necessary. I mean, you can't always, being that consistent is really, really tough. Yeah. Plus we kind of had the crap kicked out of us with two members leaving the band. Right. With Jamie and Matt going both at the same time, And there was a lot of sort of behind the scenes stuff, not necessarily with myself and Billy, but like in my personal life, there was a lot of drama and crisis going on. So I think it was really a time of a sort of a forced break for us. But we just we took stock of everything and
got your house in order with management and so on.
Yeah, that's right. Went out and found new management and everything. So and there was also a big shift in music at that point. Hard rock music. There was a lot of very cartoony hard rock music around that sort of fell by the wayside, and we weren't prepared to get flushed out.
Woo! That was Motley Crue with Kickstart My Heart, a video that sets the scene nicely for the announcement of details for this year's Bulldog Bash, the UK's biggest motorcycle extravaganza. Now, in its 7th year, the Bulldog Bash 93 takes place on the 6th, 7th and 8th of August at Avon Park Raceway, Long Marston Airfield, near Stratford-upon-Avon in Warwickshire, England. The many varied and exciting entertainments include drag racing, stalls, discos, beer tents and live rock groups, which this year... That, of course, was Axl Rose in action with Mike Monroe for their 1989 duet, Dead, Jail or Rock and Roll. And Mike Monroe has recently teamed up with another member of Guns N' Roses, this time guitarist Slash. The pair booked themselves into a London recording studio during the current Guns European tour to record a version of the classic Steppenwolf track, Magic Carpet Ride. The new version of the 60s song is to be included on the soundtrack for the still in production stage Coneheads film. What, you may well ask, are Coneheads? Well, they're aliens with cone heads, originally made famous in the 80s on the American TV program Saturday Night Live. The producers have got the original cast back together, including Dan Aykroyd to star in the film.
You don't know what we find. Why don't you come with me, little girl? I'll make the carpet right.
The Coneheads was that great old Saturday Night Live skit. Do you remember?
Our Earth-born daughter, Conja. We have successfully intercepted the signal known as MTV and are broadcasting our information at this moment to the youth of the world.
Wow! Hijacking MTV?
And they're making a movie out of it. And they called me up and said, would you want to contribute a track to it for this particular scene where it's, they call it the growing up montage, where this little girl that they have that's born on Earth is growing up on Earth with her cone and everything.
What about Connected?
And then she eventually turns into a punk rocker, and she's got a cone, a safety pin in her cone. That was the selling point for me to get involved in this project. Everybody usually records, like if they think Steppenwolf, they think Born to Be Wild. And I've always wanted to do this song, so when the offer came in, I was like, now's my chance to record this song and get the band together to do it. And everything. I hope everybody likes it when it comes to all this stuff.
You don't know what we find. Why don't you come with me, little girl? I'll make the carpet right. You don't know what we can see. Why don't you tell your dreams to me? Fancy will set your brain. Close your eyes, girl. Look inside, girl. Let that sound take you away.
It's one of the few times a keyboard player can actually compete with the guitar player on the distortion element. That's a lot of fun. I bought Steppenwolf's like greatest hits or whatever when I was very young, and that's one of the first bands that really turned me on to B3. It's like Steppenwolf and Deep Purple and Booker T, and the organ thing, you know.
We got Sammy on bass.
Sammy
took and Izzy, Sammy Alpha from Hanoi Rocks, and Izzy. Izzy's gonna do.
Izzy's gonna be here tomorrow.
Back
to
in
do background. He
So-
hates talking to MTV anyway. So
The band is gonna be called Hanoi Roses.
I was trying.
Guns and Rocks.
I came up with a name.
Hanoi Rocks.
I came up with a name. I took all her names and put them together, and it came out with Sammy's.
was an excellent tune to hone by.
Affirmative. We will employ it in our Guz chamber.
Yes.
In further metal news, Corrosion of Conformity have split with vocalist Carl Agel and bassist Phil Swisher. The rest of the band are currently in the studio, so will be seeking replacements urgently. In concert news, Bon Jovi play a second night at Milton Keynes Bowl on the 19th of September, with each show featuring 4 acts in total.